الخير لكل متابعي زاغروس تيفي. أنا شيرين إبراهيم مستمرة بتغطيتنا المباشرة من مهرجان دهوك السينمائي الدولي دهوك انترناشنال فيلم فيستيفال بنسخته العاشرة، بمشاركة دولية وعربية ومحلية من 34 دولة بمشاركة 116 فيلم. وحتى نحكي اليوم أكثر عن المهرجان استضفنا باستوديوهاتنا بدهوك المخرج السينمائي كوردو دوسكي، خلينا نسميها مستر and Mrs. دوسكي، وزوجته لينا هانسن. Welcome to Zagros TV, Mr. and Mrs. Doski.
Thank you so much.
It is a pleasure to have you in our studio, in our TV channel.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. So, Mrs. Doski, we were talking before coming live about yourself. Would you please give us a brief introduction about Mrs. Lena Hansen and Mr. Kordo Doski?
Yes, my name is Lena. I am from Sweden originally, but I live in Los Angeles. And yeah, I'm a celebrity makeup artist in Hollywood, and I have a skincare line as well.
And I'm Kordo Doski. My parents I was born here in Dehok, currently living in Los Angeles. I was raised in Canada, and I'm a filmmaker, actor, and very happy to have my film back here in Dehok.
Yes, you're welcome. طبعا كان سؤالي الأول عن التعريف عن السيد دوسكي والسيدة دوسكي. هي لينا هانسن بالأصل من السويد وساكنة في لوس أنجلوس، هي ميك اب ارتست بهوليوود. والمخرج كوردو دوسكي هو من مواليد دهوك، يعني من الأصل من دهوك، مش مخرج سينمائي ساكن في لوس أنجلوس. So let's start with your movie that participated in Dehok International Film Festival.
Yes, the film is called Allihopa, the Dull Kurd Story. Allihopa is a Swedish word that means all together.
Allihopa.
Allihopa.
Okay.
And it's about a football team started by 2 Kurdish refugees in 2004 to keep the Kurdish kids off the streets.
Yes.
And 14 years later, they're on the verge of doing something that's never happened in world football, which is climbing every division. And the film joins them in the last 3 months before the season ends. And we wait and see if they make it to the highest level of Swedish football.
Mm-hmm. And the Allihopa meaning was?
All together.
Okay.
Yes.
طبعا الفيلم اللي مشارك في مهرجان دهوك السينمائي هو باسم هالي هوبا. هي كلمة سويدية بتعني كلنا سوا، تحكي قصة فريق كرة قدم أنشأوا 2 من اللاجئين الكرد اللي لجأوا إلى السويد، وكيف قدروا يصعدوا على سلم النجاح خطوة بخطوة حتى وصلوا إلى المرحلة النهائية اللي رح نعرف عنها بعد شوي. So, tell us more about this Allihopa movie and why it was chosen a Swedish word.
Yeah, so Allihopa really means all together, everyone. And I feel like it really encapsulates the movie because there's 14 different nationalities in
14.
in this team, and yeah, it's about what happens when we all come together for something bigger.
Yeah. طبعا ليش تم اختيار كلمة هاليهوبا السويدية حتى يكون اسم للفيلم؟ لأنه فريق كرة القدم مكون من 14 جنسية مختلفة اللي كانوا بيلعبوا سوا لحتى ينجحوا الفريق. So, tell us more about this movie, how the idea came up to make this kind of movie, like Allihopa, Swedish word, and it's talking about Kurdish refugees who was in the team. So you mixed your both cultures in this movie.
Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing. My life before movies was football. So for many years, that's what I did. So I was very familiar with the club. And Lena's family is based in the very town that this team happened to come up. So while we were getting together, this football club was the basis of our conversations with me and her dad for many years, We both liked this team. And so In 2017, he became very ill, and we left Los Angeles to go be with him during that time. So while we were there, this team that I had seen from a distance, I was finally there, and that was when we got the idea that.
So in 2017, when who was ill?
In 2017 is when her father got very
Her
sick,
father, yes.
and we went to Sweden to be with them.
So the idea came from that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. طبعا فكرة الفيلم يعني نشأت عام 2017 عندما زاروا والد السيدة أو زوجة المخرج في السويد عندما كان مريض، فهون طلعت الفكرة بكون سيد كوردة هو بالأصل كانت حياته عبارة عن فوتبول، فهو كان لاعب سابق في كرة القدم. فلما صارت الزيارة لعائلة لينا وقت اللي كان الوالد مريض في السويد، نشأت فكرة الفيلم هالي هوبا. So, what is the end of the movie, if we can know about?
Yeah. For me, I think the biggest aim originally, it started off just to share what Kurdish people have been able to do in the diaspora, you know, just as a form of inspiration. But the more we got to be there and the more we got to focus on the thing, it became much bigger than the Kurdish story. It was the immigrant story. It's the opportunity of what happens when a nation gives these people from a different country an opportunity to do something. And I think that was the most beautiful thing about it, is you can see when people are given a chance what kind of amazing things they can do. And I think that was really important for me as an immigrant, as a refugee, to share that story.
طبعا فكرة الفيلم أو خلينا نقول لشو بيهدف الفيلم، أنه يلقي الضوء على الأشخاص المهاجرين أو اللاجئين إلى دولة أخرى عندما بيعطوا فرصة كيف ممكن فيهم ينجحوا هاي التجربة ويصيروا مثال للأشخاص اللي موجودين في غير أماكن، بأنه أي شعب أو أي أمة إذا انعطت الفرصة الصحيحة ممكن يصير في النجاح. So the end of this movie, how it will be ended?
How will that end?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, from what I've seen at different festivals, it really inspires people. I think you see one thing that's familiar about this team is they had very limited resources. You know, they didn't have the same funding, the same things. And I think it gives you that idea of like, what is really possible? You don't need all the money. Sometimes you just need persistence, you need belief, and then you need the hard work. And I think this is what people get away from this film, you know?
So it's like more into inspiring people to give their best, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. طبعا الفكرة للفيلم إنه أي شخص أو حب المخرج يلقي الضوء على أهمية إعطاء الفرص للأشخاص، سواء كانت فرص معنوية سواء كانت فرص مادية، وهي الفرص كيف ممكن تؤدي إلى إنجاح تجربة ما. So, a part of the movie, let's come back to Mrs. Dosky. We will talk about your experience in KRG or in Kurdistan region. Is this your first visit to Kurdistan?
No, this is actually my 6th time in Kurdistan.
Your 6th time?
Yeah, I've been here quite a few times and I love it here. It's such a beautiful, Dahok especially is such an amazing city, and yeah, the people here are so friendly and warm, and yeah, I love being here.
How, if we compare your experience in Los Angeles, because it's like a dream city for everyone to visit, how would you compare like such a city with Dahok?
Yeah,
Like from the aspect of people, like development?
I think, you know, here it's more about community, about family, and I really appreciate that. I feel like when you're in a big city like Los Angeles, it's easy, you know, people are more independent in that way, everybody's to themselves, but I feel like here it's more about traditions, culture, family, and I love that. And it
So you think that there is more human values in such communities like small communities than in big metropoles?
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Yes. طبعا كان سؤالنا للضيفة المخرجة من أصل سويدي في أمريكا، أنه هل هي الزيارة الأولى إلى كردستان؟ فكان الجواب لا، هي الزيارة السادسة. وكيف ممكن تقارن ما بين المجتمع اللي عايشة فيه بلوس أنجلوس مع مجتمع كردستان ودهوك خصوصاً؟ هي كتير بتشجع، أو خلينا نقول أنه مبسوطة وأنه impressed بالقيم العائلية والترابط بين الأفراد في المجتمع الموجود هون في المجتمع الكردي، واللي ممكن ما نلاقيه بمجتمعات ومدن كبيرة. So now we will go back to the festival, the Dahok International Film Festival. As we spoke before, this is your second time to attend the Dahok International Festival, right? So tell me about your experience here and how do you see the organization of this festival for 2023?
Yeah, I'm always really impressed with what happens here because I've been to a bunch of festivals and I think I've seen bigger festivals and smaller festivals, and it always feels to me that the people in Dahok, they've attended bigger festivals because there's this feeling here, the red carpet, just the organization. It's like they haven't seen small festivals. So they've been to Cannes, they've been to Berlin, and they've tried to bottle that up and bring it back here. And for me, as someone from here, it's really inspiring. I love that they do that. And there's like a certain class that they bring to this festival that you don't see in a lot of the medium or even the medium festivals at major cities or even some of the bigger ones. There's just a bit more attention to detail here that I really appreciate.
طبعا نحن كنا عم نسأل الضيف عن رأيه بتنظيم دهوك مهرجان دهوك السينمائي الدولي، فهو طبعا حضران النسخة السابقة بال2015، وكان الجواب بأنه كل مرة بيشوف الفestival من تطور إلى تطور أكبر، كأنه الشعب في دهوك بيروحوا بيشوفوا المهرجانات العالمية الكبرى ببرلين بكندا وبيجيبوا هاي الخبرة والتجربة إلى دهوك، لأنه عم نشوف شيء كبير وعم نشوف عمل جبار، بالإضافة إلى أنه ممكن نقارنها مع المهرجانات الكبرى عالمياً إذا أضفنا بعد التفاصيل اللي منا موجودة حالياً. So, we were talking about the theme of Dahok International Film Festival this year. It is the mother tongue or the mother language. So how do you see this theme is important to focus on and to put it as a theme for this festival?
I would love to tackle that question. I think this is like a bigger thing globally. I've seen it now, I've seen it in LA, I'm seeing this transition to people telling their own stories. Living in LA as an actor for many years, I've seen other people tell our stories and they never do our stories justice because they don't have the insight, and so I love that they're making this a theme here because everyone given the opportunity, whether it's women directors telling their stories, whether it's language, whether it's experience, whether it's minorities, I think you get an authentic theater experience. I think you get a truer story, a richer story, and I love that that's the theme because as Kurds, our mother language has been an issue for us in many places, so it makes sense that this is a priority here.
Mm-hmm. So I will translate your version and then we go back to Mrs. Dosky.
Sure.
سؤالي كان انه الثيم او محور هاي السنه بمهرجان دهوك السينمائي هو اللغه الام، فكان السؤال انه كيف بتشوف انه اللغه الام ممكن تكون بهالأهمية لحتى يكون محور المهرجان لهي السنة؟ طبعا جوابه كان بأنه هذا الموضوع يؤدي إلى شيء عالمي أكبر لحتى نشوف قصص المجتمعات الأخرى. يعني اليوم كان عايش بلوس أنجلوس والناس اللي بتحكي كلها بلغة واحدة ممكن تغني بتجربة بسيطة، بس لما يصير في عندك مصادر للغات أكثر ولا تجارب أكثر، هذا بيعطي فرصة لأكثر فئة حتى يحكون عن تجاربهم وعن قصصهم في الواقع وفي الحياة. So, Mrs. Dosky, what do you think about considering mother language or mother tongue as a theme for the Dahok International Film Festival?
There's so many stories to be told from this region. I think it's so important for everyone to get a chance to tell their story in their own language, from their own experiences. Like Cordo said, it's so important to highlight that and celebrate that. So I think it's such a beautiful thing that this is the theme this year.
Yes. طبعا كان السؤال نفسه شو رأيها باختيار اللغة الأم كمحور لمهرجان دهوك السينمائي لهي السنة. فأيضا كان الجواب مشابه بأنه هي فرصة للتعرف على أكبر قدر ممكن من القصص الواقعية ومن حياة الناس اللي ممكن ما يقدروا يوصلوها بغير لغتهم الأم. Now we are coming to the most interesting question for this episode, which is how does it feel like to work together as Mrs. Lena Hansen and Cordo Dosky, and now I'm calling it Mr. and Mrs. Dosky.
You go first.
It's great working together. It really is. You know, Cordo's been so supportive of my skincare line. I've been working on this for many years, and throughout the years he's been so supportive and helpful. And now I feel like it's my turn to help with his filmmaking, and so we're really support systems for each other, which is great. So it's really good.
طبعا كان سؤالي انه كيف بيكون الشعور للعمل بين شخصين في نفس المجال. طبعا انا سميتهم مستر اند مسز دوسكي لانه عم يشتغلوا بنفس الدومين اللي هو الاخراج السينمائي. جوابها كان انه بيضل زوجها كوردو دائما داعم وسبورتيف لكل شيء بتعمله، سواء إذا كانت ميك اب ارتست أو بحياتها بالمجمل. فصار دورها أو واجبها لحتى هي ترد له هذا الجميل وتصير جزء من الإخراج السينمائي اللي هو بلش فيه. So now it's your turn, Mr. Dosky.
Yeah, I would also add, even from like an efficiency standpoint, what we realized when we used to work on different things, it just was less effective. You know, because she would need her time to do this. And then once we started to realize what our strengths are, we were just like, she's very organized. She's very good at doing certain things, planning, making sure we're structured. And my background being in media and story, we were just able to figure out how can I apply my skills to hers and how can she apply her skills to mine. And once we were able to figure that out, things just moved a lot faster, And it allowed us to be free and move and do different cities and stuff like that.
And you see that it's more effective to work together as a couple than working separately. طبعا كان السؤال للسيد كوردو عن رأيه في العمل سوا أو العمل معا كزوج وزوجة في نفس الدومين. فطبعا هو نحن نجمع الصفات الموجودة بين كل واحد فينا، فهي دقيقة ومنظمة جدا في حياتها وبتعمل شغلها بطريقة احترافية، وهو أيضا من الناحية الفنية عنده ذوق وحس فني مرهف. فلما بينضافوا مع بعض بيعطي إنتاج يعني أكثر قيمة أو أكثر احترافية. So let's talk about the opening movie, which is Baghdad Messi. We were talking behind the scene about this movie. Tell me about your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I will talk about the director of Baghdad Messi because for me it's nice to see his journey, He's one of these pioneers of Kurdish films, really. He's been doing this for many years. He's based in Belgium. It was based off a short film that was an exceptional short film.
By the way, yesterday he was my guest, Sahim Omar Khalifa, right. the producer of the Baghdad Messi movie.
It's fantastic. We were with him at the Red Sea Festival. We both had our films in Saudi together. And it's just, I'm very excited to see it. I haven't had a chance to see the long one yet, but it's great. His stories are great. He's been doing this for a long time.
And I think like Baghdad Messi, somehow it has like common lines with your movie هذه هوبا, that it's focusing on giving hope to like refugees or people who are migrating to other places.
Yeah, using the beautiful sport, football as the vehicle. And I think that's what it is. When it's that combination of sport and humanity, It's a way to bring everybody to the table. Even if you're not interested in certain things, underneath the vehicle of sport, you can share important messages, and I think that's what we both try to do.
So you are also excited to watch this movie, right?
Absolutely, very much so.
Yes.
طبعا نحن سؤالنا كان عن فيلم الافتتاح اللي هو بميسي بغداد. إذا كانوا شاهدوه شو رأيهم؟ فهن رح يشوفوا النسخة اللي رح تصير إعادة، بس هن ملتقيين بمخرج الفيلم السيد سهيم عمر خليفة بمهرجان آخر، وبيعرفوا قصة الشخص المسمى بميسي، كيف أنه ممكن يعني المساعدة والدعم المعنوي يمكن أنه يعطي نتيجة وبيخلق أمل عند الناس. I hope that we can see you in like more festivals, upcoming festivals in Dahok, in another parts of Kurdistan. So what is your last wish to our audience who sees you live now all around Iraq and abroad? So what would you like to send?
I just hope more people get to watch our movie. Honestly, it's such a wonderful movie about hope. And
where do they can watch if we can help with that?
Yeah, well, today's the final screening here, but we're in talks with different distributors right now. So hopefully in 2024, maybe Netflix, maybe something big like that. There's some conversations happening, so hopefully we'll get a chance to share it then.
Yes, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Doski, it was such a pleasure to have you here in Dahok International Film Festival and on Zagros TV. Hopefully to see you another time.
absolutely, thank you so much.
Thank you. مشاهدينا الكرام، طبعا كان السؤال الأخير للسيد والسيدة دوسكي عن فيلم اللي شفناه فيلم الافتتاح، وبعدها نحن طبعا سألنا الكلمة أو طلبنا الكلمة الموجهة للجمهور. هن طبعا بتمنوا كل الخير وأنه العالم تشوف أكثر الفيلم اللي أنتجوا وأخرجوا اللي هو حالي هوبا. فسألتهم عن وين ممكن يشوفوا هذا الفيلم. بعد التوزيع رح يصير في مصادر ونحن رح نتابع هاي التفاصيل. طبعا مشاهدينا الكرام، بنكون هيك وصلنا لختام حلقتنا لليوم. بنشوفكم بكرة إذا الله راد بتغطية مباشرة. إلى اللقاء.